Have you ever found yourself, looking at a Rolex, maybe in a shop window or on someone's wrist and thinking, what is it about that watch? It's not just a timepiece. It's practically, a global phenomena, recognized, desired, revered by nearly everyone, regardless of culture, generation, or even how much they know about watches.
Yeah.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into the extraordinary success story of Rolex, exploring the brilliant alchemy that allows this brand to transcend all those boundaries.
That's absolutely right. What we're trying to understand today is how Rolex has cultivated this undeniable appeal, positioning itself as a universal symbol of status, achievement, and, undeniable quality.
Right.
Our mission is to extract the core insights from the material you've provided to really get to the bottom of the precision, durability, and elegance that define Rolex, and to uncover the strategic genius behind its timeless allure.
Okay.
We're going to journey from its surprising origins to its cutting-edge innovations and the masterful marketing that makes it all work.
So, you might assume a brand of Rolex's stature began somewhere in the, hallowed valleys of Switzerland, steeped in centuries of watchmaking tradition.
That's the usual assumption, yeah.
But the genesis of this icon is actually quite unexpected. Where did it all begin?
Well, it certainly wasn't in Switzerland, at least not initially. The story begins in 1905, right in the heart of London.
London, really?
Yeah. It was founded by Hans Wilsdorf and his brother-in-law, Alfred Davis, operating under the rather straightforward name Wilsdorf and Davis. And this wasn't a watch manufacturing company at first. They specialized in importing the very best Swiss movements and then meticulously placing them into high-quality British-made cases.
So they were essentially curating the finest components to create a superior product. That's incredible foresight for the time, especially considering the wristwatch was still a relatively new concept, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Many people still preferred pocket watches.
So they were truly pioneering the modern wristwear market.
Precisely. And Wilsdorf understood that beyond quality components, they needed a powerful identity. This is where the name Rolex comes into play. And its origin is, legendary.
Go on.
Hans Wilsdorf himself recounted a tale from 1908, claiming a genie whispered the name Rolex in his ear while he was riding on a horse-drawn omnibus in London.
A genie? Seriously?
That's the story he told. He envisioned a name that was short, easy to pronounce in any language, and visually striking on a watch dial.
Yeah.
Something memorable.
A genie on a double-decker bus. That's quite a story. But the speed with which he acted is what truly impresses me. He didn't just sit on the idea.
Absolutely. He acted fast within days. Rolex was registered as a trademark.
Wow.
This strategic move was swiftly followed by relocating operations to Geneva, Switzerland, which, as you know, is the undisputed heart of watchmaking excellence.
Okay, so then they moved to Switzerland.
Right. This move strategically positioned the brand at the epicenter of quality and craftsmanship. It was a smart move.
And it wasn't long before they started backing that memorable name with undeniable, verifiable quality.
Exactly. Just 2 years later, in 1910, Rolex achieved its first major milestone, becoming the first wristwatch ever to receive the prestigious Swiss Certificate of Chronometric Precision.
The first one.
The very first. This wasn't just a minor accolade. It was a critical early validation of their commitment to accuracy and reliability. It set an incredibly high bar for everything that followed.
What's truly fascinating here is how Wilsdorf understood from day one the importance of both a memorable brand identity and undeniable technical merit.
It wasn't about choosing one over the other. It was about integrating them from the very beginning, building the brand and the quality side by side.
That early certificate, that really set the bar high. But becoming a global phenomenon means more than just being accurate, doesn't it? It requires genuine breakthroughs that capture the imagination.
Oh, for sure.
What were those pivotal innovations that truly changed the game for Rolex and, frankly, the entire industry?
Oh, there were several, but none perhaps as iconic as the 1926 creation.
Yeah.
The Oyster.
The Oyster.
This was the world's very first waterproof wristwatch. Before this, water and dust were just, the bane of a watch's existence. They'd quickly degrade the delicate movement.
Right.
The Oyster changed everything by sealing the case, crown, and case back with a patented system. Genius, really.
And to prove this revolutionary waterproofness, they didn't just run lab tests, did they? They staged one of the most brilliant marketing stunts in history.
Indeed. That was with Mercedes Gleitz, a young British swimmer.
Yeah.
In 1927, she became the first British woman to swim the English Channel.
Wearing the watch.
Wearing a Rolex Oyster, yeah. And the watch emerged perfectly intact and still ticking after hours in the cold water. It cemented its place in history and generated incredible buzz.
Talk about a real-world stress test. Okay, so waterproofness sorted. What came next in their parade of innovations?
Just a few years later, in 1931, they introduced the Oyster Perpetual. This brought the first self-winding mechanism to a wristwatch.
Self-winding, so it winds itself.
Yeah, the movement of your wrist keeps it powered. This was crucial for maintaining the oyster's water resistance because you no longer had to unscrew the crown daily to wind the watch, potentially compromising the seal.
Ah, clever. Keep it sealed.
Exactly. Then came the Datejust in 1945, which was a masterstroke in combining functionality and elegance. It was the first watch to bring together automatic winding, water resistance, a chronometer certificate, and an automatically changing date display right at midnight.
All in one watch.
All in one. It truly had, as Wilsdorf famously said, everything a watch needs.
Okay, so they're innovating, getting certificates.
Right.
But how do they maintain that level of quality consistently, year after year, watch after watch? You hear about Rolex precision all the time.
Right, and it's deeply rooted in their unwavering commitment to quality. In 1951, they actually introduced their own standard, the Superlative Chronometer Certification.
Their own standard, stricter than the official one.
Exactly. It rigorously surpasses the criteria set by the official Swiss Institute, COSC. Every single Rolex watch undergoes meticulous testing for accuracy, durability, and reliability, even after it's been fully assembled and encased.
After it's cased. That's unusual.
Very. Most tests are done on the movement before casing. And a huge secret to achieving this consistently is Rolex's vertical integration.
Vertical integration.
Yeah.
That sounds like a massive undertaking. For someone listening who might not be familiar with watchmaking, what does it truly mean when a company manufactures everything in-house?
Well, it means unparalleled control over quality at every single stage. Most brands, they buy components from various suppliers, movements from one place, cases from another.
Right.
But Rolex designs and builds almost everything themselves. We're talking movements, cases, dials, bracelets, even their own gold alloys and the tiny screws.
And they make their own gold.
They have their own foundries, yes.
Yeah.
This allows them to maintain incredibly tight tolerances and innovate proprietary materials like their oyster steel.
Oyster steel. That's not just regular stainless steel.
Nope. It's a specific 904L grade. It's notoriously difficult to machine, but it's significantly more corrosion resistant and can take a higher polish than the more common 316L steel other brands use.
Ah, so that's why they have that distinctive gleam.
That's a big part of it, yeah. And its ability to resist the elements for decades.
Yeah.
That comes directly from this deep internal control. It's all about consistency.
That's incredible. So it's not just about assembling parts, it's about engineering consistency from the atomic level up almost.
Pretty much.
What about the tiny intricate parts inside, the things that actually make it tick accurately?
Well, again, they use specific proprietary technologies they develop. Take the parachrome hairspring, for instance.
Parachrome.
Yeah, it's a blue alloy they developed themselves. What makes it truly remarkable is its resistance to two things that can really mess with a watch's accuracy: magnetic fields.
Which are everywhere now, phones, laptops.
Exactly, and temperature fluctuations. This parachrome hairspring helps keep your Rolex ticking precisely through all of that.
Okay.
Then you have things like the chronergy escapement, which is basically a more efficient way the watch uses its power. It improves energy efficiency, reliability, and gives you a longer power reserve how long the watch runs when you take it off.
Right. Longer between needing to wear it or wind it.
Correct. And for resilience, they're patented Paraflex shock absorbers.
Yeah.
They're not just a generic system. They're designed to enhance shock resistance by up to 50%. Crucial if you're, actually using the watch for sports or adventure.
It all comes back to that idea of reliability, durability.
It does. This entire process, from choosing the materials to the final assembly, reflects Hans Wilsdorf's mantra: produce nothing but beautiful work.
What truly resonates with me about that level of dedication is the sheer scale of precision they must achieve. It's almost mind-boggling to think of that kind of control over every single component.
It really is.
And that almost obsessive dedication to perfection, building from the ground up, isn't just about making a great watch. It creates an unshakable foundation of credibility. And that credibility, I think, is what allowed them to build one of the most visionary and successful marketing strategies the world has ever seen. Because you can't market a myth without an undeniable product to back it up.
Precisely. Wilsdorf was a marketing genius long before the term was even really, common. He didn't just make great watches, he made them synonymous with human achievement and success.
Right.
His visionary approach associated Rolex with pioneers and achievers from the very beginning.
Exactly. Think of Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay wearing Rolex watches during their historic Everest climb in 1953.
Iconic.
Or Jacques Piccard and James Cameron trusting Rolex watches in the crushing pressures of extreme underwater environments, like the Mariana Trench.
Those are real-life stories of human triumph that Rolex became an integral part of, not just staged ads.
And then, of course, you have the enduring celebrity endorsements, like Paul Newman. His name became inextricably linked to the Rolex Daytona.
A Paul Newman Daytona, yeah. Still incredibly sought after.
And modern ambassadors like Roger Federer, further cementing its global appeal with excellence in sport.
And it's more than just celebrity faces, too. Wilsdorf's early genius wasn't just about the name Rolex. It was about getting that name on the dial, which was quite uncommon at a time.
Oh, really? They didn't always put the brand on the dial.
Often loyalty was to the jeweler, the dealer, not the manufacturer. Wilsdorf insisted on Rolex front and center.
Interesting.
And his marketing stunts, like that English Channel swim we mentioned, became a full-page Daily Mail ad. Groundbreaking stuff back then. And the famous image of an actress with her hand in a fishbowl showing off the oyster's waterproofness. Completely novel.
That's incredible foresight for the early 20th century. So putting the name Rolex on the dial was uncommon then. What was the typical approach? And how much of a risk was Wilsdorf taking?
Well, most watchmakers would have their name, or maybe the retailer's name, subtly inscribed somewhere, or sometimes not prominently at all. Wilsdorf's insistence on a bold Rolex on the dial was pretty radical.
A gamble? Maybe.
It was a risk because he was basically asking customers to trust his brand directly, maybe over established jewelers they already knew. But it was a calculated one, fueled by his absolute belief in the product's quality. And it paid off, laying the groundwork for the kind of brand recognition we just take for granted now.
Fascinating. And how did this marketing evolve over time, especially after those initial, really quite bold stunts?
Well, since the late 1970s, Rolex's approach has become, let's say, more subtle, yet incredibly powerful. There's been a real emphasis on prestigious sports. Tennis, golf, auto racing, equestrian, sailing.
It's an association game.
Exactly. Becoming the official timekeeper for iconic events like Wimbledon since '78, the U.S. Open since '80, and Formula One since 2013. It isn't just about slapping a logo somewhere.
Wrong.
It's about making Rolex an integral part of moments of peak performance, precision, and success. It subtly implies, these top performers, these high-pressure events, they trust Rolex. So maybe you can too.
So what does this all mean for us, the observer, the potential buyer? Rolex isn't just selling a mechanism that tells time.
Not at all.
They're selling a narrative, a connection to aspirational moments, to iconic figures, making the watch a personal affirmation of success or aspiration towards it. It's like an investment in a feeling almost.
That's a good way to put it. And beyond the marketing, a core part of Rolex's enduring success lies in its instantly recognizable and, importantly, consistently applied design philosophy.
The look.
The look. You have the classic round shape, which actually helps with water resistance and legibility. You have the central sweep seconds hand and the famous Cyclops date magnifier.
That little bubble over the date?
That's the one. Another brilliant Hans Wilsdorf invention to make the date easier to read. And what's truly remarkable is how little the core designs change. As the saying goes, only very careful modifications to the iconic design of individual model collections over the decades have resulted in a high degree of recognition.
That's such a key point. They don't jump on every design trend, do they? Even when case sizes change, it happens very gradually over years.
Exactly. No sudden shifts. This consistency means typical design features like the distinctive grooved or fluted bezel on some models, the Mercedes hands-on sports models, the Cyclops magnifier, and the various bracelet styles, they're consistent across models and instantly identifiable.
Like a design language.
A very strong one. This is what renowned watch expert Gisbert L. Brunner calls the 10-ring rule.
The 10-meter rule.
Yeah, the idea that even someone who isn't a watch fanatic can often recognize a Rolex from 10 meters away.
Wow. That's powerful branding.
It's a testament to the power of deliberate, understated evolution rather than radical reinvention. Stick to what works and refine it.
And that consistent design language is perfectly exemplified by their most famous models, which have kept their core identity for decades, right?
Absolutely.
You think of the Submariner, introduced back in 1953, the ultimate professional diver's watch. Still looks fundamentally like a Submariner today.
Or the GMT Master from 1954, designed for pilots with its dual time zone function and that distinctive two-color bezel.
The Pepsi or Batman bezels people talk about.
Those are the ones. Then the Day-Date from 1956, the President's Watch, displaying the day and date in full. And the Daytona from 1963, the legendary chronograph for motorsport enthusiasts.
And it's not just the watch heads. Even their bracelets are iconic. The robust, sporty oyster bracelet.
The elegant 5-piece link Jubilee bracelet from 45.
And the luxurious semicircular 3-piece link President bracelet from 56, usually seen on the Day-Date.
Exactly. These elements all reinforce that instantly recognizable Rolex look. They create a cohesive identity.
And this strong recognition, coupled with what some call calculated scarcity, that further fuels their desirability, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Rolex maintains exclusivity by producing around 1 million watches annually. Now, that sounds like a lot.
It does sound like a lot of watches.
But for a global luxury brand with that kind of demand, it's deliberately limited compared to what they could potentially produce and sell.
It's a brilliant strategy. It definitely fuels desire and demand. But doesn't that calculated scarcity ever risk, alienating potential customers? Does Rolex ever worry about being too exclusive, or is that just part of the mystique they've perfected?
It's definitely a fine line, but I think they've pretty much mastered it. The classic example is the stainless steel Daytona we mentioned.
The waiting lists.
Exactly. For many, it's an object of desire with famously long, sometimes years-long, waiting lists at authorized dealers. This was initially fueled by the Paul Newman effect after his own watch fetched that astronomical price at auction.
So the hype feeds itself.
It does. This deliberate, often unfruitful, hunt for the world's most desirable watch only adds to the Rolex myth and its perceived value. It creates this narrative of, wow, if you can actually get one, you've really achieved something, rather than just, oh, they're impossible to get.
It turns scarcity into aspiration.
Precisely. The demand consistently outstrips supply for certain models, and for Rolex, that scarcity reinforces aspiration and exclusivity. It keeps the brand desirable.
It's fascinating how that strategy plays out, and it brings us to another surprising aspect of Rolex ownership.
Yeah.
The financial side.
Ah, yes, the value retention.
Exactly. Unlike, say, a new car, which depreciates the moment you drive it off the lot, Rolex watches, especially the high-demand steel sport models like the Submariner, GMT Master, Daytona, often maintain or even appreciate in value over time.
It's quite remarkable in the luxury goods world.
It offers a unique reassurance to customers, doesn't it? Knowing that they've made a, well, relatively wise decision financially, whether they're buying it purely for investment or just for the sheer enjoyment of wearing it.
And this stability and value is absolutely cemented by Rolex's consistent performance in the auction world. After Patek Philippe, Rolex is arguably the next hottest brand, regularly achieving, well, dizzying heights at auction houses like Christie's and Phillips.
We're talking serious money.
Oh, yes. There are thousands of examples of older Rolex watches fetching remarkable prices over the decades. Just look at the records we touched on. Paul Newman's own Daytona selling for an astonishing $15.5 million back in October 2017.
$15.5 million for a watch.
And the Baudai reference 6062, a very rare triple-date moon phase model, once owned by the last emperor of Vietnam, sold for over 5 million Swiss francs in May 2017.
Incredible.
This reinforces their status not just as watches, but as true investments in cherished collector's items, almost like wearable art that holds or increases its value.
All of this ties into what's been called the myth of the monolith. Rolex's incredibly consistent, almost unyielding approach to its business, its design, its everything.
The monolith, yeah. Steady and unchanging almost.
The company makes continuous improvements, tiny refinements, rather than pursuing radical new directions or jumping on every new trend.
Good example. They largely resisted the quartz watch revolution back in the 70s and 80s when it decimated much of the Swiss industry. They made some, the oyster quartz, but very few compared to their mechanical output.
Right, and you won't find them making really complex complications like tourbillons or minute repeaters, which other high-end brands focus on.
You know, they stick to their core competencies. Robust, reliable, precise timekeeping, date functions, chronographs, GMTs, and they rarely launch entirely new collections. They evolve the existing ones.
They don't even sell watches online through their own website. You have to go to an authorized dealer.
Still, in this day and age, their strategy is clearly to focus on what they do best and just refine the details, incrementally improve.
And their communication style reflects this too, doesn't it? Rolex maintains an inscrutable and oyster-like persona fitting, I guess.
Very fitting. Their production facilities are famously guarded, rarely seen by outsiders. Their CEO almost never gives interviews.
No big splashy product launches with huge fanfare.
Not really. They announce new models, often just subtle updates, usually around the big watch fairs, but they don't make a huge fuss. They focus on, as you said, quietly works on detailed improvements. It offers predictability and reliability to their customers. You know what you're getting with Rolex.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this unwavering focus, both in product development and brand management, it really protects them from missteps, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It reinforces predictability for the customer.
Yeah.
You buy a Rolex, you know it's built on decades of refinement, not a fleeting trend.
It's a testament to the power of a clear, consistent, long-term vision. In a world of constant change and diversification, their deliberate, almost slow and steady approach has proven incredibly effective at building and maintaining their legacy.
It really has. It's a counterintuitive strategy in today's fast-paced market, always chasing the next big thing. But for Rolex, it fuels their enduring success.
So as we bring this deep dive to a close, what emerges isn't just a list of achievements like, first waterproof watch, chronometer records, auction prices, but a profound insight into why Rolex is Rolex. Their enduring desirability in such a fast-changing world seems to come from this masterclass in controlled evolution. They've kind of taught us that the most powerful form of innovation can often be relentless refinement and an almost unyielding dedication to a core identity.
Turning consistency itself into a kind of cutting-edge strategy.
Exactly. Rather than constantly chasing the next new thing, it's stability as strength.
Which raises an important question for you, our listener, to maybe think about. In a world that's constantly chasing the new and the disruptive, what other brands or products out there achieve that kind of enduring desirability by embracing such a deliberate, consistent, almost monolithic approach?
Yeah.
Rather than constantly diversifying or radically changing course every few years. Are there other Rolexes in different industries?
That is something to mull over as you go about your day.